Satanic Panic should have won. If you know, you know.
The Film Fella.
Now then, how's it going and welcome to the channel. This series is exactly what it says on the tin. Real views from a regular bloke, no waffle, no overly complicated analysis, just straight up quick fire reviews and recommendations to help save you your valuable time when searching through the bottomless pit of shows and movies now available to us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and gently, just gently tap that bell notification if you like the sound of all that. Right, that's the cliche repetitive bit done, let's get on with it. Season 4, aka the final season of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, crept its way out of Netflix's impending mortuary and onto our screens on New Year's Eve. A tactic that felt a little like they were quietly and shamefully trying to attempt to dispose of some sort of body on the day when most people are focused on everything else. Shameful if you ask me. However, with all that being said, I reckon it likely backfired after the year that 2020 was, with probably a lot of people such as myself sat at home drinking themselves into oblivion, me, binging it, also me, and hoping that 2020 was actually a bit like some sort of illusion or spell or horrific nightmare scape that we'd eventually escape out of, like the show, which I was hoping as well. In fact, I'd be surprised if Netflix weren't actually kicking themselves right now with the viewing figures that they probably got from all that.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But hey ho, on with the review. Season 4, or Part 4 as it appears to be the trending show naming conventions these days, picks up right where we left off. Now I'm not going to go into all that because I'm hoping this video might have found some people that have just never watched the show at all, so you'll just have to trust me, but it does pick up straight away. What I will say quickly to those of you watching who are on the fence about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is go give it a watch. It's a far cry from the 90s Sabrina the Teenage Witch show, although it gives some incredible nods to it throughout the other series that have come before it, and also in this finale season they've gone to town with it. Both shows are based on Archie comic characters of obviously Sabrina, but this show is more of a comic book accurate depiction which gives a much darker and grittier undertone fitting its spooky and satanic source material. Obviously it's still a show about a teenage witch, and as you guess it's still aimed at a sort of teen audience in a similar vein to how its sister show Riverdale depicts Archie and the gang from the the Archie comics as well, so bear that in mind. Anyway, the general gist of this season being the finale and all that is that it pits Sabrina, played by Kanan Shipka, who's brilliant, against the Eldritch Terrors. In short, they are like the doomsday entities that bring about the end of the world, which is quite fitting for a show that's obviously on its way out. Now, the one thing I've loved about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina ever since it began back in 2018 is its ability to make each episode feel very unique and very specific. Obviously they all weave into a larger narrative, but overall each episode has its own theme or tone, and in season 4's format of her and the gang tackling these different entities, it works great. Some of my favourite episodes in this season are 3, 6 and 7, and definitely 7 for that very reason. As mentioned, it does have some sort of Riverdale-iness about it that gives it a tendency to be a little bit of a laughable cringe fest. However, for the majority of Sabrina's run on Netflix, the major difference between the two shows, for me personally anyway, is that it seems to be a lot less cheesier or a lot less filler filled. Shows with more than 8 to 10 episodes just stop. We can talk about it in another video anyway. Its only other hang up, and again this might be a personal choice for me specifically, is that some of the musical numbers, which are rare on occasion anyway, are just a bit hit and miss. Episode 6 from this season is no exception, and being a fan of the genre of music that it's sort of going for made things a tad cringy for me personally. Although I must admit, the entrance of one set of characters I hinted at earlier at the very beginning of this video, if you remember, I just couldn't help but giggle my ass off every time that they turned up. Just the entrance music, everything, it's brilliant. Just, you'll know what I mean once you watch it. Now for the big part, how I felt about this coming to an end. In short, and personally, I was disappointed. However, we could spend a while getting into everything regarding Netflix's show cancellation policy, and let's just leave that to one side and talk about that in a different video on a different day. In truth, and on reflection, it's the perfect ending. Again, no spoilers here, but the ending to Part 4 either finalised it forever or left enough of a thread for us to tug on if it's ever resurrected by a combination of the Lazarus and the Endless. If you've watched the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, should you watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 4, or for some reason, if you've ended up here and you've never watched it, should you give it a big old binge? Yes! Yes, you should. If it wasn't clear enough already from this video, I really like this show. Its first season was released around Halloween in 2018, and ever since then I've just been waiting for it every single year. And a top tip for me would be that if you wait until the spooky season this year, give it all a binge then if you've not watched it. But if you can't wait, definitely go give it a watch if this video's made you intrigued, and see if it casts some kind of spell on you as well. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm off to go join a coven and start an angry hashtag and a petition to aid in its swift return. Now then, cheers for sticking around. You have plenty of film and TV review options on the internet, so cheers for joining this idiot. If you enjoyed that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and carefully tap that bell notification to be notified when new videos are available. Also, cheekily tickle that like button if you want to. What did you think to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 4? Let me know in the comments down below. But until next time, see you in a bit.